2020 has come and gone, and 2021 is finally here. And in the online teaching world, so much has changed this past year. From teachers going independent and a higher marketplace of students, and also just ESL companies changing. There have been some great changes and there have been some not so good changes. The online teaching community is definitely continuing to grow in substantial amounts. So it is a great time to teach online if that is something that you are interested in. In this video, I'm specifically going to talk about Outschool, one of the companies that I currently work for and am also a hiring coach for as well. And I'm going to talk about how to get bookings on Outschool. So stay tuned. Hello to anyone who is new. Welcome to my channel. My name is JennaLee from liveeatteach.com, and in my channel I talk all about the online teaching world, how to build your own business as a teacher, and also how to become your own boss. So if you're interested in content like this, I talk about Outschool, VIP Kid, an ESL company, and also GoGo Kid, as those are the three companies that I work for. And I will be uploading videos on a weekly basis. So make sure to subscribe to stay tuned to those videos each week. All right, so how do you get fully booked on Outschool? This is a loaded question, but I'm gonna break it down for you, okay? But I'm gonna preface this by answering a question that you may be wondering. Are there enough students on Outschool? And I'm gonna answer this with some evidence that I found on Outschool's blog. Currently, there are 500,000 learners on Outschool. So 500,000 learners on Outschool. And in March of 2020, so this last March, there were only 1,000 teachers. Now that number has gone up a substantial amount, right? Outschool has been on a hiring spree for a long time now, for a half of a year. So that number has gone up. I don't know the exact number for this, but if you know, can you comment below and let us know where we can find that information? But yes, there are so many students, and a lot of these students come from homeschooling backgrounds. Homeschooling families will use Outschool to supplement some of their classes and take additional classes to practice what they are learning. And also some charter schools have connections with Outschool where the school will pay for students' education to take some classes on Outschool. So there are some great things going on with Outschool, and I am here to answer that question. Yes, there are many learners and there are hours for you to work on Outschool. Which brings me to the next point. How do you get bookings on Outschool? And not just how do you get some bookings, but how do you get a fully booked schedule or a very highly booked schedule? So the first question you need to ask yourself is, what do my clients need? And in this case, your clients are parents and students. So really be thinking about how you can provide to the Outschool community. Some ways that you can figure the answer to this question out is to look at the email that Outschool sends out on a weekly basis. And in this email is a list of classes that parents and students are requesting in the moment. So you can check that list out. There are so many class requests on this list. So if something pops out to you, or if you can adapt one of these requests to your subject, then try to offer something that the parents are requesting. Otherwise, if you scroll to the very bottom of this email, you can see that there are topics that are highly searched that come up with very few results. And these are classes that parents and students need. So this is a good way to figure out what to offer your classes on. Now, another way to figure this question out, what do my clients need, is by doing some competitor research. Now, in no way am I saying to copy other teachers' class ideas. But what I'm saying is you can be a smart business person and do some research. So competitor research is something that we do on YouTube, and you can do it on Outschool as well. So when doing competitor research, what you want to do is put yourself in the parent's shoes. So you're going to go to find classes, and you're going to look up the most popular classes. So you go over to the right and you click on this and you click on most popular. Put a check by that. Now you're going to go down and you're looking for the popular subjects and popular classes that are getting bookings right now. Pay close attention to the type of class it is. So is it a one-time class? Is it an ongoing class? Is it a multi-day class? Is it a flex class? Look at the subject. Is it science? Is it math? Is it a social class? Look at the age range of the students. Are these ages 9 and up? Are these ages 3? What are the popular age ranges for these classes? Now, if you already know your niche, which is the subject that you teach on Outschool, then you can look in your niche as well. And you can look up what are some popular classes in your niche. Now, something I want you to direct you to is that when you search for classes, at the top of the page are topics, and these are put there because they are highly popular topics that parents and students are clicking on. So at the top, these topics are drawing, gaming, reading, clubs, dance, anime, writing, history, singing, and escape rooms. So that's another way to get more bookings because it's just a very needed subject and topic that parents and students are searching for. Now, something I want to stress that is so important now in 2021 on Outschool is that you need to be different. Do something different. So even if you are teaching a class that is really popular on Outschool, try to make it your own and try to make it unique and something that the learner has never seen before on Outschool. And this is so important to getting bookings because people like new and shiny things. So you really want to make your class stand out. Now, speaking of shiny things, you want to make a shiny class listing. And this is the next step in getting booking. So the first few things that the parents and students see when scrolling down through the class listings is they will see your class title, your class listing photo, and also they will see a little description of what you'll be doing in class. And all these are really important because they're the first look that the parents and students get to see. So let's focus on the class title. You want your title to be very catchy and unique, but you also want it to have searchable words. For instance, if you want to have a class on how to bake gluten-free chocolate chip cookies, then you need to include most of those words in your class listing, because those classes that have that exact phrase in it will come up first when the parents search for that class. Now, the second thing that you should pay attention to is your class listing photo. You want this to be very shiny as well. You also want to display a little bit of your personality for parents to see in this. So if you're the type of person that likes a lot of color and is kind of bright and cheery, then try to include that in your class listing photo. It will give the parents an example of who you are as a teacher and draw the parents that like that quality to your class. So what you want to include on your photo is a professional background, and you also want to include yourself on there so that parents know that it's your class, and if they like you as a teacher, they'll click on it. And finally, the third thing that you should focus on in your class listing is your description. And in order to do this, you need to basically create a mini lesson plan that includes exactly what you will do and what you will teach throughout the lesson. So if you're going to play a game of trivia, include that in your class description. If you are going to learn how to count with Skittles, include that in your class description. So it's going to be a mini lesson plan or outline of what you are going to do in class. So you can even use it as a mini lesson plan when you are actually teaching the class, because that's how descriptive it should be for parents to not have to guess what you're going to do in class. Now, something that is also important is to always include engagement in your classes and lesson plans and interactivity. And this is a whole other video that I will record someday, but you want to make sure that you are including games and activities for the students to really enjoy their time in class. Now, if parents and students like what they see, they are going to click and book their classes with you, and you will have your bookings. And now you are not finished. Now that you have the bookings, you want to keep those students. You want to keep that pocket of students, and you want them to become your students. The first and foremost thing that's important when really building rapport with students and keeping them coming back to take more classes with you is a good quality lesson plan, which again is a whole other video, but it is so important when it comes to having those rebookings with you. Another thing that's important is to provide feedback and communicate with parents and learners after they've taken a class with you. I always like to send a message to learners or parents after they've taken their first class with me, welcoming them back and telling them how much of a good time that I had with their student. Now, your feedback can be as simple or as elaborate as you want it to be. But it's very important to offer that communication and feedback to parents or learners so that you are showing that you are interested in their student and you are interested in supporting them on their learning journey. Also, don't be afraid to ask to see them again or even offer a class that they might be interested in. Don't be afraid to do this. Outschool is a marketplace, and you can definitely offer classes that you think the students would be interested in without feeling guilty about it. Another strategy to use is to actually just ask the learners. Ask your learners that you have coming back to classes what their interests are. And if that relates to your subject, then you can offer a class that they're already interested in, so they're probably going to take that class. And voila, you will get learners in your class. Now, those are some tips and tricks I have for you. Getting bookings, or as I like to say, clients on Outschool, is something you have to constantly work for. Getting low bookings does not mean that you are bad as a teacher or that you're not offering the right class. It might mean that it's just not the season for that class to be popular. The teachers that I've seen be really successful with Outschool had so many class ideas, and they just kept creating new classes until one just struck gold and was well needed and wanted in the moment. I have a few bonus tips for you for bookings. A way to get to the top of the list so that parents and learners don't have to sift through tons of classes is to make sure that you are offering some classes that are within the 24-hour range. So Outschool will automatically cancel your class if it is not booked within 24 hours. So I would uncancel your class and keep some of your classes, especially one-time classes, open within that 24 hours, because your class listing will then be put on the top of the list of classes being offered within the next 24 hours. And many parents book that way. And my second tip is to keep looking at Outschool's best times to teach statistics, and keep looking at that on a week-to-week basis to see with the seasons and with holidays and different months, what are the most popular times that are booking. All right, I hope that this helped and that you found this to be valuable for you and that you can use some of these steps right now to get more bookings. If you liked this content, give me a thumbs up below. Again, subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and let me know what you are interested in learning more about in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you soon.